Technology is often key to successful implementation of the flipped classroom. This presentation will introduce ThingLink, Lecture Capture, Team-Based Learning, Blackboard Collaborative Ultra, and Augmented Reality. These are emerging technologies that may be incorporated into the flipped classroom. ThingLink is a form of interactive screenshot technology. A screenshot is a phrase used to describe the action of capturing your computer desktop or anything shown on your computer screen to a static image file. Screenshots can be very helpful when you need to demonstrate something that would be difficult to explain in words. Most of us are familiar with screenshots and use them on a regular basis to better communicate in written correspondence, such as emails or written directions. ThingLink is a multimedia storytelling tool, and it takes screenshots to the next level. ThingLink is software that permits the user to make any static photo an interactive image. ThingLink permits self-directed image exploration by adding video, text, and/or music to a photo, poster, map, or other image. I'm sure you've seen advertisements with the play button that links to a video. This is an example of ThingLink, but used at its most basic level. ThingLink can be an important technology in the flipped classroom by providing students an interactive method to explore content prior to class. Teachers are able to embed a few enhancements or many enhancements to the static image. ThingLink also provides valuable supports to ELL learners or students with disabilities by permitting them unlimited access to the image itself, and the videos and text may be viewed at a student's own pace, and they may be viewed again and again as much as the student may need. In these images, you can see the various links, or nubbins as they are called. The nubbins can be customized to better represent the content behind them. For example, a question mark to represent a reflective question, a light bulb to illustrate an aha, a camera to represent a photo, and a play button to represent a video. Once the interactive image is created, it may be published in a variety of settings such as Facebook, a blog, a website. The possibilities are endless. And of course, one of the best ways to use ThingLink may be to provide the students access to create their own interactive images for publishing and sharing their learned knowledge. Push the play button below to view a short, under 6-minute video on how ThingLink can be used in an educational setting. And finally, a link to the ThingLink website where you may sign up for a free trial so that you may begin making your own interactive images. But beware, once you realize the power of interactive images and begin to let your creativity loose, it's addictive.
It's important to note that the technology is only about 10 years old. The definition of lecture capture is already starting to blur, and at its base, lecture capture is a solution that offers classroom-based activities in a digital format. Let's take a look at lecture capture then versus now, the old school and the new school. In the old school, back in the dark ages of the 1980s, people recorded classes on video cassettes and then distributed the tapes. Another option was video teleconferencing rooms, which were expensive to build and had to connect to a similar room on the other end. Lecture capture has traditionally been a one-way conversation. Students watch a recording of the professor giving his presentation, and that's about it. In the new school version, however, students are now being more engaged through multiple video capturing capabilities, streaming, archiving, and playback solutions. Teachers are able to edit the footage, and this makes for an easier learning experience. Lecture capture also improves the user experience. Students are now able to access lecture captures because of cameras, microphones, projectors, and interactive whiteboards that help to improve the lessons. Furthermore, instructors are able to edit to add slides that with titles, remove dead time, or eliminate those non-teachable moments that may not make sense unless you actually were in the class at the time. Long lectures can also be broken down into shorter segments for use as study guides or for class aids. Lecture capture is also becoming far more feature-rich, in which the products have also become more intuitive, allowing the faculty to focus less on the medium and more on the message. Students now today also have a more interactive experience with a flipped classroom model using lecture capture. Typically, in the past, teacher makes traditional recorded whiteboard lessons. However, the difference today makes it possible for students to make comments along a timeline that might be provided in the course. If a student is confused about a particular concept midway, he can hit a button and post a question. The teacher and all the students in the class can see that comment, and it could be over the weekend or it could be live. All of a sudden, people's iPods and iPhones are going off with notifications. They can go in and answer that student's question right on the spot. It truly opens up learning to be 24/7 and making lecture capture a more interactive experience. This video has experts from the University of Washington giving their testimonials about the benefits of lecture capture. Some of the highlights include the interactivity of lecture capture, in which professors not only capture their video recordings, but also everything they can do on their computers, whether it be notes or graphics pertaining to the lesson. Professors also discuss lecture capture and how it's used to flip their classrooms via pre-recorded lectures for students to watch before class begins. Then, when students arrive, they use the class time to engage in active learning through cooperative learning and problem solving. The ability of students to pause and repeat lecture capture lessons is also discussed, and how lecture capture allows English language learners and students with disabilities to go at a pace that works for them. Those are just a few of the highlights in the video. Click on the link to view the video in its entirety. Lecture capture is being used in a flipped classroom through innovative uses. Let's assume this octopus represents the lecture capture and instructor, and each arm represents a way that the instructor is able to reach out to students with the technology. First, the lecture capture technology is interactive. Gone are the days of students simply watching a recording of the professor giving his or her presentation. Today, students are able to interact with the instructor and with their peers in real time. Students also receive increased instruction. Through flipped courses, many more students are getting more hours of education via recorded lectures than the standard lecture model. If you use the technology to outsource things outside of the classroom, teachers can bring in more complex activities inside of the classroom. There's also cross-disciplinary sharing. Higher education typically involves one instructor and one class, but today with lecture capture, the faculty can build courses that pull in lectures from professors in related fields. There's also customizable content. Now, today, through lecture capture, recorded material is so much easier to access that there is more data that teachers can use to include in their instruction. English to speakers of other language students are also able to benefit from lecture capture. The ability to speed up, slow down, or watch repeatedly is an excellent tool for learning a new language. Finally, there is a can-do attitude. Using short videos to explain difficult concepts was an approach popularized by the Khan Academy. Lecture capture is used to create 4 to 7 minute recordings that range from real-life examples to longer recorded lectures that might be more specific to an area. So what are the implications for flipped classrooms? The technology has adapted over the past 10 years to allow students to access their lessons via podcasts, cell phones, and laptops. And really, the ones who benefit the most from this emerging technology are the students. They can coordinate their work and study schedules, and they may even be able to take 2 courses at once. Lecture capture today has progressed and is now an integral part of the flipped classroom. Whether in a flipped classroom or a blended course, new lecture capture features are helping make face-to-face class time more appealing and out-of-class learning more productive.
Another method of the flipped classroom is team-based online learning. When classrooms were first making the switch from traditional in-class lectures to online classes, most online courses consisted of only lecture and coursework. Team-based online learning was a way for small groups to redefine what an in-class activity was. It allowed students to take on part of the curriculum and become an expert, and then teach that part of the curriculum to the rest of the class using instructional technology. Although team-based learning has been utilized in classrooms for a long time, it is becoming more common in online classes. It's based in mastery learning, which was started in the 1920s, which allowed students to interact with each other more in order to gain mastery in whatever they were studying. It was revived by Benjamin Bloom in 1968 when he developed Bloom's taxonomy and his hierarchy of learning. When traditional online classrooms use the cycle of lecture and then coursework completion, only the bottom 2 tiers of Bloom's hierarchy of learning takes place.
knowledge, and comprehension. In order to use the top 4 tiers, team-based learning must take place. Students must chunk out the curriculum, become experts in their area, and teach it to other students. Team-based online learning gets students ready for the corporate world. It allows them to collaborate with one another, builds their facilitation skills because they are able to present their curriculum to the class, and allows them to explore different types of instructional technology that they may have not been comfortable with to begin with. It also allows students to have a variety of experience with different flipped classrooms techniques, such as Blackboard Collaborate and Skype group chat, things of that nature. The project that we are completing right now is an example of team-based online learning.
The flipped classroom model allows for lectures and resource materials to be viewed outside of the classroom, opening up classroom time for active participation from the students. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is an emerging technology that can be used both inside and outside of the classroom in support of this model. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is more than just recording video lectures. With the whiteboard feature, live chat, the sharing of applications including the desktop, the ability to make students presenters, and the ability for students to create their own study rooms allows it to be an interactive tool inside and outside the classroom. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is a web conferencing tool that runs in a web browser in order to facilitate online collaboration. With Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, you are able to add files, share applications, or use the whiteboard to interact live with students. Collaborate Ultra also allows students to join into a session and take part in a discussion via a chat feature. Students can also act as presenters as well. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is more than just video recording. It allows you the ability to create a session which participants can come in, participate, and interact, or you can record a session and to be viewed at a future time.
Augmented reality is an innovative, emerging technology. It was first used by fighter pilots. It's used in human performance technology settings. And it's making its way into today's classrooms for a variety of subjects from geography to astronomy. It's a perfect enhancement to art appreciation classes and life to curriculum. Students can control objects. Med students can see how bones, nerves, and muscles interact as the body moves. Dissections can be fast-forwarded and rewound at will. A wealth of resources are added as menu tabs at the bottom of the screen. Organ systems and components, their functions and interactions can be easily identified, visualized, and explored. Learning becomes more efficient. Anatomy becomes personal. It's integrated as information is presented simultaneously with objects. It can be taken out into the field. Intangible processes are made visible. Examination and manipulation of microscopic phenomena is now possible in detail. Assessment is enhanced by visual, spatial, and bodily kinesthetic intelligences. Students have on-demand, individualized tutorials to increase accuracy and precision. AR adds an important element of fun to Common Core curriculum. Worksheets are transformed into high-interest activities. Some of the drawbacks include time and resources to purchase and implement devices and media, but the benefits are tremendous. I believe we'll be seeing more AR in future classrooms.
In conclusion, Flipped classrooms offer enormous opportunities for collaborative and engaging learning. They utilize exciting technologies such as ThingLink, lecture capture, team-based learning, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and augmented reality.